Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the latest and most pressing political developments from South Africa. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's dive into today's major story. Today we turn our attention to a courtroom drama that's captured national headlines: the high-stakes asbestos corruption trial of Ace Magashule, the leader of the African Congress for Transformation, or ACT, and former ANC Secretary-General. This trial is more than just a legal proceeding, it's a test of political accountability, the power of the National Prosecuting Authority, and the potential rebirth of one of the country's most controversial political figures. On Monday, April 15, 2025, the long-anticipated trial finally got underway at the Bloemfontein High Court. This comes more than 4 years after Magashule's initial arrest back in November 2020. The charges relate to a 255 million asbestos audit tender that was awarded during his time as Premier of the Free State. That project was meant to identify and remove hazardous asbestos from homes, but according to the prosecution, little to no work was actually done, while hundreds of millions of rands were allegedly siphoned off. Magashule faces multiple serious charges, including fraud, corruption, and money laundering. He's not alone in the dock. His co-accused includes businessman Edwin Sodi, whose name has surfaced in numerous corruption allegations over the years, as well as other former government officials. Now let's be clear, this is one of the biggest corruption trials since the state capture era. It represents a defining moment in South Africa's fight against political corruption. But Magashule isn't going down without a fight. In fact, he appeared defiant and confident outside the courtroom. Surrounded by supporters wearing ACT regalia and chanting slogans of support, Magashule said, quote, "I'm ready to embarrass the NPA." Strong words, but they set the tone for what promises to be a fierce legal and political showdown. Let's unpack the background for a moment. The asbestos project in question was meant to address a serious health issue. Many older homes in the Free State still contain asbestos roofing, which poses severe risks when inhaled. But instead of delivering on that promise, the project turned into what prosecutors allege was a cash grab by politically connected individuals. Huge amounts were paid out, but the actual work done was negligible. This scandal is emblematic of the kind of systemic corruption that has plagued parts of government for years: massive contracts, very little service delivery, and deep connections to political elites. Magashule has long claimed that the charges against him are politically motivated. Since his expulsion from the ANC in 2023, he's made no secret of his belief that the party, and in particular President Cyril Ramaphosa's faction, is using state institutions to silence and eliminate political rivals. Outside the courtroom, he repeated these claims, saying, "This is a political trial, and I will prove it. They've been delaying because they know they have no case." This rhetoric has become central to his political comeback, painting himself as a victim of state persecution and using the courtroom as a platform to rally support. But the National Prosecuting Authority, for its part, is standing firm. Spokesperson Thunzimoga stated clearly that the case is built on solid evidence and that justice will be served. According to the NPA, this is not a political game, it's a matter of accountability for the misuse of public funds. Inside the court, Monday's proceedings were mainly procedural, pre-trial motions, finalizing schedules, and confirming that the state and defense are ready to move forward. But Magashule's legal team made it known that they will be challenging the admissibility of key evidence and the legal grounding of the charges themselves. So we can expect a battle not just of facts, but of legal strategy. While inside the courtroom things were tense and technical, outside there was real energy. ACT supporters came out in numbers, waving placards reading "Hands off Ace" and "Stop political persecution." These supporters see Magashule as a martyr, someone who was pushed out of the ANC for standing up to what they believe is a morally bankrupt leadership. It's a narrative that resonates in some parts of the country, especially among those disillusioned with the current state of politics. But here's the real question: can Magashule turn this trial into a political opportunity? Will this high-profile court case damage his credibility further, or could it ironically give him the platform he needs to position himself as a political alternative? His newly formed ACT party is still relatively small, but it's growing, and Magashule is clearly betting that public anger over political witch hunts, combined with frustrations over service delivery, will give him traction. At the same time, the stakes are incredibly high for the NPA. This trial is being closely watched not just by political commentators, but by the general public. The NPA has come under fire in the past for delays, botched prosecutions, and perceived political interference. If they fail to secure a conviction here, especially after such a long build-up, it could be a major blow to public confidence in their ability to hold the politically powerful accountable. And of course, there's the wider context. With national elections looming in 2026, the political battlefield is becoming increasingly crowded and volatile. New parties like ACT are hoping to carve out space in a landscape dominated by the ANC, the DA, and the EFF. If Magashule walks away from this trial without a conviction, it could turbocharge his ambitions, but if he's found guilty, it could mark the end of his political career. This case touches